got my corners squared out, and those have been glued up for a little while. I've made some material here, a base that this is going to sit on. Going to be out of this SPLA, and I'm going to cut it just 3/8 inch bigger all the way around, a little chamfer on it. Okay, I've got to sand this box before I put that bottom on. I've also got to cut the lid out before I put that bottom on, because that's going to keep me from running it through the table saw. Okay, so I'm just going to bevel the top and bottom. And the bottom, I guess I'll just bevel the top of that. And probably bevel the face, I guess, just to keep the theme alive. I didn't even pull a tape measure out to do this. I just whittled away at it until it felt snug this way. And now I'm going to dado out the ends. So I just kept whittling away at that until I have my drawer side material in here times 2, and it's just like 1/4 inch thick stuff. And I just bump this against here. Actually, and then just kind of eyeball this when it's right. Stop. Alright, there's basically the drawer box. What I'm going to do, this back piece should be the same length as from there to over there. And then so I'm going to glue and just pin it with some little pin nails. And I'm going to put a piece of 1/2 inch plywood on the inside so you don't see it from the bottom. Alright, that's basically it. It's not put together yet, but that's what it's going to look like. I've got the bottom, I'm just going to glue and screw that on. The top, I'm going to probably just attach with some glue and some spring clamps overnight there. The drawer, I need to put some spacers under the drawer so it will slide. That's something maybe I can wax up. But so there's the drawer box. Just pinned it together. Plywood bottom. And that's basically it. What I did was when I sawed the lid off, I put a little sanded, a little micro bevel right there, so that when it comes together, it's got a nice little seam there. I got these decorative hinges that I'm going to put on the back side here. Two of them, one here and one over there. And what I like to do is fold the hinge down like this, and then measure over and go ahead and get my pilot holes drilled and screws and everything, and then set the lid up there and do the lid separately. And once you get the bottom screwed on, I go ahead and just put the top on. These aren't real brass. They're already just brass plated, and they're already lacquered over. So I'll just spray. I'm going to spray these things with the hinges on them, and just add some lacquer to them. But what it is going to do is dull the finish, because I'm going to use a dull lacquer, so it'll make it look a little more older. Maybe, I don't know. And I did number these things so that I wouldn't get them mixed up. These cheap screws will strip out easy. You want to be gentle, very gentle. It's the best they could do all the way from China. So, and there you go. There's the alignment's pretty good, you know, in the front. Check it out that way. Check it out that way. Just got to be patient with it. And when this opens, I imagine it will stop right there. At least it's heavy enough to hold up the lid by itself. If this, and I'm going to add some weight by putting that bottom in there. So that's kind of nice. Maybe I'll put a mirror in this area here. You know, if they have it up against maybe a wall or something, when they open it, it might be a nice little mirror there. Okay, these boxes were just begging for a little wooden knob, but I cut a little piece of wood, and it just didn't look right. The length of this drawer was just begging for something a little bit longer, so it's about a 2.5 inch with just a little bevel on it for the handle. And I mean, I'm kind of doing this, I'm making this up as we go here, and I'm kind of famous for that. I don't necessarily always have a plan, although when we're working with the CNC we always have a full plan to go by, but things like this I just kind of make up as I go. I marked the center line there, and I measured, and I'm taking this little stick here, and there's glue underneath there, and I lay that stick up against there, and that'll tell me if the handle's on straight, and it is. So I glued in those blocks there, you can see, and just cut a piece of 1/4 inch. This is an MDF core. This will help. It's thin material, but it's also a little heavy, so it's going to be a nice little, I mean, as far as the weight, you know, it's not going to be a, I'm just wondering if I should put a little hasp here, so if they pick it up, you know, I don't know, I probably won't do that right away. Might be something I add. Yeah, so we're just pretty much there. I got all the little handles glued on over there. One reason I put a really light coat of sealer on is because this right here, if you have a little spot of glue or something, it'll show up, and I can sand through that sealer when it dries and then reseal it. If you go with too heavy of a coat and you see little flaws like that, it's harder to get to them, obviously, because there's more material there. Well, I still got the final coat to put on, but when I do that, after I do that, I may not have time to put the video together, so I'm going to go ahead and put it together. I'll give you an idea of kind of how these will work. And little drawers, and you can see there's one. I got one here that has a pretty bad spot on it, but I want them to look handmade. You know, that's the whole idea of the Christmas gifts going forward for me, is something that is not from a store. Something that that I can show I actually went through some effort, and something that's useful too, you know. That's just how I feel about it. I'm not saying everyone should do that, but anyway, that's the end of it. Y'all, thanks for watching. Merry Christmas 2013, and you guys, y'all take care.